And we're live. Good afternoon, everyone. It's Mel Bundock here. This is episode 4 of Big Vision TV, and I'm joined by my friend Christianne Wolfe. Now, because Big Vision TV is still quite new, and I'm still finding my feet with it, and so I'm a life, and people say to me, I don't introduce myself at the beginning. So very quickly, I'm a life and mindset coach, and I've always had a big vision of being a TV presenter 20 years ago when I did a journalism degree. And I just thought it would be fun to start a TV show on Facebook, as you do. No prep, no anything, literally 4 weeks in. And I had the idea, I think, 4.5 weeks ago. So here we go. So I'm so excited to introduce Christianne today. Now, Christianne is... She's given me her official bio here. Christianne is a multi-award winning best-selling author of the Body Rescue Plan series, and we can see her books there in the background. She has gone from local personal trainer to international celebrity trainer, TV presenter, public speaker, and she's fulfilling her own big vision of having a beach lifestyle with her family in Portugal, running her online membership business, selling her books and her coaching business while she kite surfs in between. So sounds like the dream life, really, Christianne.
I hope so. Yeah, that's what it's all been for. So
absolutely. So tell me a little about how this all started. You know, let's rewind the clock a few years. Tell us about Christianne as kind of a youngster. What was her big vision?
Well, when I was young, I was pretty bad at school. I was dyslexic, but I wasn't diagnosed. I had attention deficit disorder, but I wasn't diagnosed. So, you know, school life for me was quite hard. And I went to quite an academic school, and I was very good at arts and very good at sports, but it wasn't really, you know, it's kind of frowned upon almost. So I didn't feel I had a great start, but I always knew that I had, you know, the ability to communicate well with people and the ability to heal people, nurture people. So I definitely knew I wanted to work with people and helping improve their lives. So in my early 20s, I learned Reiki healing, became a Reiki master. I actually did a degree in art and design, and I became a aerobics teacher, you know, and I taught art in prisons. That was kind of my starting work life. And just the fitness industry just took off massively. So then I became a yoga teacher and a personal trainer. I started training celebrities on film sets, which was really exciting.
Can you tell us any names?
Well, Pierce Brosnan was probably the biggest name, yeah, on a couple of the Bond movies. So around that time, I had a lot of the press ask me if I wanted to write for them. And, you know, this was me being dyslexic, failing all my GCSEs, apart from religion and art. So I was like, okay, I've really got to, you know, and I did believe in myself. I believed that I could really help people, but my ability to write was really, you know, I had to kind of pluck something out of the air and think, right, I can do this. So I studied the way other people wrote and kind of almost to begin with did it in a formulaic way. Okay, this is how they kind of carve each chapter. I'm going to do that as well. But, you know, writers that I really respected. And I got loads of writing work. And it was just ridiculous because I couldn't spell for toffee. I mean, I can't spell at all. My grammar was awful. And but you know, I think my passion really sold. So, you know, the editors knew that and they're like, don't worry about it. We will, you know, rejig it for you. But the main emphasis and passion is in there. So I carried on personal training for 22 years. And then 4 years ago, I wrote my first book, The Body Rescue Plan.
And that's amazing. I think that's such an achievement in itself because I think, you know, dyslexia, ADHD, these things can put such a label on children that, you know, hopefully now it's different. But, you know, perhaps back then when it was undiagnosed and you're possibly labelled as a bit, you know, I don't know, I'm not saying, but, you know, children may have been a bit thick or a bit, you know, all over the place.
Was my naughty.
And you know, limits could be you know, set at that age, you know, either by yourself or by the teachers or, parents? Did you ever feel limited in any way?
Oh yes, loads of ways. But I suppose I did have an inner confidence. Come from a very large family, and when you come from a large family, you have to battle your own kind of, this is me, my personality. I've got to be seen. We were all a bit like that. I think you just are from a large family. You sort of shine. You find your own inner shine, if you know what I mean. Mm-hmm. Yes, I felt very limited. I mean, I got told I was stupid and by so many different teachers, but my art teacher, bless him, was amazing, and he just said I was the best thing ever in the whole world. My sports teachers, some of them were very appraising. So yes, I did feel limited, but I also understood that somewhere within me I had a big presence in the world and a big reason to be here, and that was, as I said, to really help and nurture people. And I think because
was that an inner knowing? Was that inner knowing?
I think so. Yeah, definitely. I knew it from year dot. Yeah, absolutely. If anyone was ever in trouble or needed help, I wanted to be there. So I understood that, and I understood that it didn't necessarily require an academic part of my brain, and actually the very fact that I wasn't academic and I was dyslexic and ADD and all the rest of it made me be able to tap into something else that other people couldn't tap into. And I understood that at a very early age as well, that, most people that I was surrounded by had a very kind of linear thought process. Whereas when I was around people, I couldn't remember their name, but I completely remembered their presence and their smell and the colour of their skin and the colour of their eyes and the colour of their hair and what their issues were and what their passions were. That's what I picked up. Whereas other people would pick up, what do you do for a living? And so I think I understood that at a very early age. And I know a lot of dyslexics are like that as well. They see the world in a very different way, and that's amazing. That's awesome.
Absolutely. And so having gone from there to here, being a published author of several books, working with celebrities, being big name in the fitness industry. And so when you approached to kind of start writing, you said you kind of developed your own formula. And was it 4 years ago you wrote your first book?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. So tell me a little bit about that, just from kind of, bad spelling, can't write. And did you want to write your own book, or were you asked to write a book? Sorry, did you say you were asked?
Yeah, it was a funny situation. So I think when you grow up with a bit of a disability, it definitely makes you see the positives and makes you understand that, okay, that might not work for me, but there's lots of other things that do. And I think it makes you very optimistic, or it can do. It definitely made me very optimistic. So at the time, 4 years ago, I had a couple of things that were going really badly in my life. One of them was that we owned a gym and we were being threatened for it to close down because of various issues. And at the time I was training an editor of a newspaper, and she was like, and this used to be my book. This was my book, like I wrote about 20 years ago. My clients would go, and look, these are all the exercises. I mean, this was so she kind of got a version of that, and she was like, you need to write a book, you need to write a proper book. And at the time, this gym that I'm in now was being threatened to be closed down, and I thought, God, actually I've got to do it now. I've got to get that confidence to do it. And I built up my confidence over the years writing for magazines. So it wasn't a major issue, but there definitely was something in me that was saying, well, the teacher would say you could do this, and I thought, well, if the gym's closing, I've got to have another avenue anyway. And also, I think with anybody who wants to write a book, there's something within you where it's not enough just to have a one-to-one client, it's not enough just to talk to a group of people. you want to get your message out there in the world in a huge, huge way. And I knew that what I was teaching and coaching people was just dramatically transformational in their lives. And I wanted more people to hear about that, you know. So yes, she said, write a book, the editor. And I thought, so I went to some publishers. I got offered a publishing deal. But the editor said, look, if you get this out really quickly, I can put it in the newspaper really quickly for you, and you know, we'll give you some really good press on it. And she did like 3 newspaper articles, like 6-page spreads. I mean, it was amazing. Wow.
Fabulous advertising.
Amazing. And because of ADD, I don't really have the ability to do things over a long period. I get very bored and lose interest. So I just wrote it really fast. I wrote it in 2 weeks. I developed my own kind of way of writing in a very quick way that I'd taken from the columns that I'd written before. And that was it. It was amazing. And yeah.
And which book was that? That was the
Body
first
Rescue
book.
Plan. Yeah.
Body Rescue Plan. Okay. And you've gone on to write another 2 or 3 books since?
4 in total.
4 in total. Yeah.
Yeah. So kind of 1 a year since. And I want to continue doing it. I love writing, even though I have, you know, some inabilities with it in certain ways. I love writing. I love sharing what's within here. And I know you probably feel the same way, Melanie, when you're in a kind of healing job, you get messages all the time that sometimes are quite difficult to kind of, I don't know, articulate in some ways. But I find that when I write, that something is writing through me, you know, the messages are coming so strong and I can't stop. And if you're only giving yourself half an hour to write a blog, sometimes that isn't enough, you know. When you write a book, if you spend all day writing a book, the flow and the music that's in your ears that comes out in words is just beautiful. It's a beautiful experience. Yeah.
So I want to talk a bit more about your books in a minute, but before we do that, one of the things I'd really love to talk to you about, and this is really timely, that you've got a little challenge coming up, haven't you, to help wannabe authors write. And, you know, I'm putting my hand up here because I've been writing my book for about 2 years now. I've been kind of at the nearly done the first draft for quite a while now, but then, you know, I don't allow myself to get frustrated with these things because I just know that these things happen at the perfect time. And it's funny, just the conversations we've had is, just tell us about your challenge, Christianne, and how you want to help other people, you know, share their stories and their messaging with the world.
Yeah. And I'm really excited to help you too, Melanie. You're going to be in that challenge.
I am.
Yeah. So the challenge starts next Monday the 11th. It's a 5-day challenge, and it's called How to Write a Bestseller. And it's really for people who have this inner passion that they want to share with the world, but they've either been like me and they're dyslexic and dyspraxic and whatever else, but they know they have this huge passion that they want to convey, or perhaps you're a business owner like Melanie and I, and you want to have the book to raise your profile and just to add more credibility to your products. Or perhaps you're like Melanie, where, you know, you've tried for the last year and a half to put pen to paper, and it's got somewhere, but it's not quite pushing through. So it's a 5-day challenge. By the end of it, you'll have your chapters all laid out, and you'll have some of your chapters filled out. It's an amazing process that's very, very quick to do. It doesn't mean that you've written your entire book in 5 days, but you have a very strong idea of what the chapters are, who your audience is, who you're communicating to, and then some of the chapters filled out in a very, very quick methods, but incredible methods.
That sounds fabulous and fascinating. And there is that saying, isn't there, that everyone's got a book inside of them?
Yeah, I think we all have. And depending on your upbringing, you might not sort of have the confidence to put it out there. But I definitely feel we all have, and it's becoming a lot easier as well. You don't have to have a publisher. You can self-publish. You don't have to print the thousands of books. There are companies out there that will print them on demand for you. So, I really appeal to anybody at any level. There are ways you can do it very cheaply, very quickly. There are ways that you can do it more professionally, but we can cover all those. Yeah,
because you've experienced both, haven't you? You went down the traditional book publishing route, and you actually got a publishing deal, didn't you? But you chose not to take it. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So I was offered a publishing deal, which for your credibility, it does feel amazing. You're like, wow, I've been chosen out of all these people. However, there are a lot of reasons I chose not to. One, because I have studied art and design, I have a very kind of strong idea of my brand and what I want to look like and what I want my book to look like. And publishers basically take that role and take it away from you. So I didn't like their ideas on that. And also, you only get about £1 a book when you publish. And it takes about 1.5 years to get out there. And because I had this, opportunity to get it in the press immediately, and also following on from that, every national newspaper took it on. And then I got on TV with it, radio with it, it was, and I felt that, I knew that was going to happen soon. I didn't want to wait 1.5 years for it. So for those reasons, I self-published. And I do believe I've made a lot more money self-publishing than I would have publishing, but both are fantastic. It's just what's right for you. And I do teach that a lot as well.
Because you've also appeared on QVC, haven't you, publishing your book?
Yeah. So I started selling my books on QVC in 2015.
I would never in a million years have thought of that as being a book selling platform.
QVC is amazing. Well, so what was really interesting, my sister and I, talking about big vision. So my sister and I, at the time, we do a lot of, back in the day, it used to be called cosmic ordering. It's now called law of attraction. But I
remember those. I wrote those little notes too. I actually put mine in letterboxes. I kind of used to think, oh my God, what must the postman who've seen this? It just said to the universe, and it had my little anonymous note inside.
Oh, that's amazing. I love that. That's fantastic. Yeah, so we used to get together and do this cosmic ordering, and which is very similar to law of attraction. And we were getting together and we're like, how can we get our vibe even bigger? And we decided to just contact some big names and see if they wanted us to interview them. And it was just for a bit of fun, because it raised our vibration. So that day we interviewed the owner of Innocent Smoothies, and who was a lovely guy. And afterwards, my sister was actually working at QVC at the time. She said, I've just got to nip over there on the way home. And I said, all right, I'll come in. And when I went in, just everything in my body buzzed. All my hair stood on end. I was just like, I've got to sell something on here. I felt it so deeply. And then afterwards, I researched it, and it's just an incredible platform because you sell a very high volume in a very short period. And it's an amazing way also just to get your name out there. It's watched by millions. So, yeah.
Wow, that's incredible. I love that so much. So you had this vision of being on QVC, and then it happened.
Yeah, and I'm quite a good manifestor. In both ways, I'm attracting not so good things, and I'm a good at attracting amazing things, depending on where my mindset is. Yeah. So I try and make it my purpose each day to be in that positive frame, because I know I can attract very big things. And I think when you do manifest, just to open that out even more. So we had spent the day with this guy who'd earned millions in his business, and he was really successful, and he was really, really inspirational. And then after that, going to QVC, where you've got these cameras everywhere and these huge names selling their products. And it was just like, I love that feeling of being big, where it's endless opportunities and there's nothing limiting you. I love being surrounded by people like that too.
Yeah, me too, definitely. And so, yeah, just love that. Now, the books, they're kind of, so a lot of people may think, yeah, published a book, great stuff, happy days, hit my vision. But for you, it's just the platform to even bigger and better things, isn't it? You know, we talked about kind of membership sites, online programs.
Yeah.
Tell me a bit more about how these books have then gone on to open even more doors for you.
Yeah. So I know because we both have the same mentor, don't we? And we went to about a year and a half ago. We went to.
We can give him a shout out. We love James.
Yeah, James Wedmore. We went to his event last January, and when I was there, so I really wanted to kind of learn more technical things when I was there. But most people there had started the membership first, so I wrote my books first, and the membership came afterwards. And then more books came after that. But so for me, it was like, okay, this is level 1 books. And then this then raises your profile, gets you celebrity clients, gets you into the press, gets your name known. So now I can bring out products to sell because of this name and this platform. Plus I can also sell my books. So people will buy my books and then saying, well, what's next? Okay, well, what's next is I'll sell my memberships. Loving your memberships. I want to go VIP. Okay, great. VIP. I'd like to go to a local class. So then I set up a franchise of local swimming classes. So it's just a kind of, you know, opportunity to expand, but all the while having the credibility of being a author, because for anyone who's watching who has a membership site, who sells products, yes, that's amazing. But if you go to the press with it, they're not necessarily going to say, well, that's great. But when you say you're an author, it's just a whole different thing altogether. And
it makes you an authority, doesn't it?
It definitely does. It makes you the go-to expert. So yes, I've been offered TV deals, radio deals, magazine columns, business opportunities, public speaking, and I do believe that is all from the book, you know. Before that, I did write for the national press, but I was very much localized. You know, we had a gym, we had people coming to us. That was it. My one-to-one time was my money, whereas now it's just ever flowing because it's all online.
Fabulous. It's wonderful. So what is next for you, Christianne? What's next in your big vision? We talked more about, tell us a little bit more about, because it is always unfolding. And I think when you are a visionary, big thinker, sometimes you can be like, oh my God, I want to do this, and this. How do you keep yourself focused? Or do you just let yourself just play with this all?
Oh yeah, that's a really good question. I am guilty of definitely getting overexcited and doing too many things at once. And I have had to rein that in quite a lot. And I have coaches to sort of mentor me to say, right, stay on track. Let's just stick with this first. But for me, the biggest thing that we're going to do is move to Portugal in September.
And you've been talking about this for a while, haven't you?
Yeah, I have a long while actually, and we've got the business now to a place where we can operate online, and we don't need to be in a particular place, so we can go anywhere. And we both absolutely love Portugal. So does my daughter. So we're going there. We're going to live near the sea, and just I love water sports. So for me, it's just like. My dream to be on the sea all day and then maybe work a few hours.
And and I think a lot of people have a vision of that kind of life.
Yeah.
But for most people, it's so far removed from their current reality that it just doesn't seem possible. So they don't even allow themselves to go after such a lifestyle, because you kind of think, well, I can't see how it's going to happen. Here I am I'm settling in my pretty, humdrum life. I'd love to write a book one day. Living by the ocean, in a beautiful house, because you showed me the picture of the house and it's gorgeous. Yeah. And it's just like, well, that's never going to happen in a million years, so I'm not even going to go there. So do you have a little message for people like that?
Yeah, I think what I found is that like I said, I'm a natural manifestor. I attract things very, very quickly. However, in the past, I've found that when things come a bit too quickly, I sabotage it because I'm not ready. So what I found now is that kind of leveling up is my way of manifesting. So
yes.
So first of all, writing for the press was, well, first of all, I wrote for local press. So I built up my confidence there. Then when I was ready, I wrote for the national press, built my confidence up there. Then I started writing my blog, built it up there. Then I wrote my book, built it up there. And it's kind of, building that confidence up. And then with Portugal, I've taught lots of retreats over the years in various countries, but we do quite a lot in Portugal. So then I got the feeling of what it's like to teach in Portugal, what the feeling of what it's like to work here and live here, and it's for me getting that feeling, getting that taste. So I do that all the time. Before I used to travel first class, I would sneak in first class. Maybe at midnight when no conductors are around, but kind of getting, the ambience of how that feels.
The naughty girl never went away, did she?
No. I've got to be a bit naughty, bit of fun. But just definitely tasting and feeling, using your senses instead of it being a shock to the system. Like, I can't possibly imagine that because I've never ever been there. Okay, well, how can I imagine it? Well, I can imagine it if I just take stepping stones. Yeah.
So experiencing what it'd be like to be in TV studios.
That's exactly what I did. There's a couple of, I've forgotten the names of them now, but there's a couple of websites where you can get onto TV shows for free. And so I used to, before I got on TV and I really wanted to get on TV, I used to go to these shows for free. You just show up, you queue up, you get a ticket beforehand. Have you done that before? I don't know.
Applause Store, I think it is.
Applause Store, that's one. Yes. Yeah. And there's another one which I can't remember the name of. So I used to do that and just sit in the audience and just write, this is what it's like with the lights and the director and the producer, and just like it's a bit more normal rather than really scary, but also really exciting.
Yeah. Well, I totally identify with that because that's exactly what I wanted when I was younger. I wanted to be on TV, and so I did. I did a journalism degree. First job out of university, I worked at the BBC for a year, so I was in the thick of the TV studios, and I loved it. But then the impatience set in because at that young age, I didn't realise you kind of had to work your way up a bit, and I thought, I can't be back to this. They paid me an absolute pittance, and I decided to leave that, go into the corporate world. However, I always kind of felt kind of at home there. And there was always this inkling that, I'd love to have my own talk show. But I think 20 years ago, I was not ready. Now I know the sort of guests I want to talk to. Yeah. I know the people, and plus I can do it on my own terms.
Yeah.
Who'd have thought just a couple of years ago that you could be doing something like this with software that is very, very cheap and inexpensive, and you can just do it. So talking of master manifestors, I see Bob Doyle's just joined us.
Bob Doyle, hello.
Talking of manifestors. Yeah. So and that's the thing. I think if you want something enough, or even it's not even necessarily if you want it enough, if you've got that seed of an idea, it's just, allowing that seed to germinate and to give it some space to flourish. And so I think if anyone's listening today and do have some ideas of kind of, I have always wanted to write a book, I think signing up for Christianne's 5-day challenge is perfect thing to do. So do you have the details off the top of your head? If not, we can post it in the comments afterwards.
I'll post the link, shall I, afterwards?
Okay, perfect. Okay. Yeah. Okay, lovely. So
I can do it live, but
if you know it off the top of your head, I could type it into the comments. If I can. I'm not even sure if I can do that. Pearls of lifetime. Okay, we'll post it afterwards. We should have been a bit more prepared. But yes, so Christianne is doing a 5-day what's the name of the challenge? Write
a bestseller.
Not just write a book, write a bestseller. We don't want to write, anyone can write a book.
Why not?
Yeah. Write a bestseller in 5 days. And by the end of 5 days, you are going to have your chapters outlined. And how much time is this going to take us each day, Christianne?
I'm definitely more excited about people working in a shorter amount of time, because I feel like if they want to spend longer, they can. But I just feel like if there is an overwhelm there, and that overwhelm is stopping people, then saying to people it's going to take hours each day will just make them not do it at all. So just like, let's get it out there really quickly, 15 to 30 minutes a day.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. And I love the sound of that as well, because that's the thing. I think the quest for perfection can often slow things down, because, you know, when I thought about doing this show, funny enough, I had a quick chat with Bob about it, because Bob is a bit slick and fancy when it comes to TV shows. And I wanted my show to look slick and fancy like Bob's. And it was just causing me too much technical headaches. I thought, do you know what? Bugger it. I'll just do it right here from my home. And that will do for now. Yeah. Because I think that wanting things to be perfect can just slow you down, like wanting to write the perfect book, wanting to, you know, do things correctly. And sometimes you just got to just do it, haven't you?
Yeah. And it's interesting with that, isn't it? Like, who are you trying to be perfect to? And I think a lot of people feel that in some ways they're going to be criticized unless it's perfect. And that is a huge block for a lot of people. And I totally understand that. But I think with criticism, it's also interesting that a lot of the people I've coached in the past who've been fearful of the criticism have been very critical themselves of other people. Yeah. So then I say to them, well, hang on a minute, you need to stop the criticizing of the people on Facebook that you say, oh, look at him. You know, if you wind that back in, you'll be less fearful of people doing it to you in the first place. And secondly, like, you have to start somewhere, don't you? Everybody starts somewhere. You know, you can't just suddenly be brilliant and perfect. You have to build it. And, you know, my book had loads of errors in it the first time it went out. And it still does have a couple of errors in it, but it's fine. It's fine. It's sold. I've sold over 100,000. People have had amazing results from it.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's fabulous. So I think a strong message from today's episode is just get started. Don't procrastinate. Don't allow the need for perfection to slow you down. Just do it. And if you've had it in you to write a book, then sign up for this challenge. I'm signing up. I'm going to be in there. God knows how I'm going to fit it in, but we make time for these things. I'm sure I spend more than 15 to 30 minutes a day scrolling through crap on Facebook. So if I maybe just cut that out a bit and focus on the book, then that's the thing. I see that so often people using, oh, I haven't got time as an excuse. Maybe in September, maybe after the summer holidays, or maybe I'll just wait till January. And, you know, that maybe never comes. You just keep delaying it. So sometimes I think, we haven't given you much notice for this. Let's just start Monday, 15 to 30 minutes a day. Oh my gosh, look at this. Lisa's found a link. Is that right? You can't see. Lisa, anyway, Lisa is wonderful. She's just like my little right-hand lady. She finds links. https bodyrescue.scemlc.net.
That's it.
There you go. Catchy link, Christianne. There we go. So there is a link to sign up for the 5-day challenge. And you know what? I recommend everyone do it. Maybe, I don't know, everyone, even if they didn't think that a book was on their horizon, why not just take the plunge and see where it leads you? Who knows where it could lead you? You could be watching this. Perhaps you don't even know how you appear to be watching this broadcast. And this is a sign from the universe that you needed to just get started. Yeah.
And it's like I said, my methods are quick and easy and efficient and really, really stimulating. So maybe you're in a funk, you know, maybe you've got no motivation at all. And you need someone in this group to motivate you. It's all free. I am a huge motivator, and I will rev that engine up for you so that by the end of the 5 days, you're like, woohoo! I'm ready with my book.
And I know this is a little bit further down the line because obviously because you've got a program as well. clearly, of course, we'd want to know more at the end of the 5-day challenge. So you've got a program, and more excitingly, you have a writer's retreat, or a retreat in Portugal, don't you?
Yes. Yeah. So for people who sign up to the program after the challenge, there's also the opportunity to work with me in Portugal, in our lovely villa. So I'm really excited about that as well.
I'm manifesting being there myself, so who knows? We'll see. Okay, so I'm so excited for you and the next step. So we've got so it just sounds like you have it all mapped out, the dream.
Well, it's definitely been. It's funny, isn't it? Because often we want things in life. We think we want the material things, but actually, everything I want in my life is everything I had as a child. Just time, time to be able to do creative things, time to be able to do water sports, time to be able to just have a laugh and not have to work hard. And so for me, that's my true big dream, big vision, aspiration. I visualize myself, my husband and my daughter in Portugal, all learning the guitar and having a sing song and having that time to do painting and getting out on a boat on the day on the sea. And that's me. That's like heaven.
It sounds like heaven. I can't wait to visit. Brilliant. So Lisa's actually said that link opens up to your sales page, so maybe we can go back and correct it afterwards if that's not quite the right one. So that's wonderful. So brilliant. So 5-day write your best-selling book challenge starts this Monday. I'm going to be there, and it's taking place in a private Facebook group.
Yeah, private Facebook group. You get live streams with me every day. You get emails every day telling you what to do, just very simple tasks that will get you your chapters mapped out by the end of the 5 days. And I'll be in there live stream answering all your questions as well. So, if you want to hear it from the horse's mouth, I've done it. I've written 4 books. They've become bestsellers. They've won loads of awards. I've sold over 100,000. I've been on TV, radio, magazines. If you want to hear how it's done, come in the group and I'll tell you.
And no excuses are allowed. So dyslexia, ADHD, I can't write, I can't spell, I'm too old, I'm too young. We don't do excuses, do we?
No. In fact, sometimes when you have disabilities or things against you, that's an even bigger reason to do it. Yeah.
Perfect. That's great. It sounds really exciting. I hope lots of you sign up. Even if you didn't think that you were going to write a book ever, perhaps this could just be the thing that will get you started. So wishing you loads of success with that, Christianne. And obviously, and where can we find out more about your books as well? Can we just search you on Amazon? Is that the best place?
Yeah, they sell on Amazon. They sell in Barnes & Noble in America. They sell in Waterstones in the UK. Or my website, thebodyrescueplan.com.
Yeah, and so just very quickly there, I think that just goes to show that even doing it yourself, self-publishing doesn't stop you from getting to places like Waterstones or Barnes & Nobles, because I think there's this kind of maybe, I don't know, misleading thing somewhere that self-publish means, well, it's not proper, you're not going to be taken seriously, which is, as you've gone to show, is complete nonsense, isn't it?
I tell you how to get through that.
Okay, great. There we go.
No, you can definitely get. I'm in all of the major bookshops in the world, so you can definitely self-publishing.
So it sounds like Christianne is the perfect person to learn from. So there you go. Thank you so much for being my guest today. It's been really inspiring, and I hope people out there, it just kind of gives them the inspiration to just get started, and don't wait for things to be perfect. They never will be. So. Just get going. All right. Thank you so much. And thank you everyone for your comments and your participation. And I'll see you next week. Got a couple of exciting guests coming up, but I shall reveal all. Just watch this space on my Facebook page, and I'll be making some announcements shortly. I'll catch you all soon. Bye for now, everyone. Bye. Right.